Good morning. It's Tuesday. Give me 1 second to share this so I can get started with why you should stop doing these things as a single woman. As women, we sometimes don't realize how much we've been gifted with, we've been endowed with, we've been empowered with, and we lose it. And today I'm talking about these things because I had a complimentary session with a guy who shared these things with me, and he found himself in a situation where he was going through life, but this woman showed up and did these things, but in his heart of hearts, he's not interested in any of those women. Those women, to me, were just his purpose helpers while he was going through the motions of life and a phase in his life. And I've documented about knowing when you're a purpose helper and knowing when you're a purpose pusher in my book, Being Single. And this is for single women. So if you're a single woman, know a single woman, I encourage you to share this and let them watch this and get to learn why they need to stop doing these things as a single woman. So this guy and I were having a chat yesterday, a phone call yesterday from a complimentary session. He was going through a phase in his life. He had lost his job and he was about losing his lease because there was no money to pay the lease. And these three women came into his life during the period where he was going through, and they started to play a different role. Each played a different role in his life in that moment. And based on the roles that they were playing, he knew that this wasn't what he wanted to do, but they were enforcing that he needed to do these things because the three of them had a game plan to make them the one. Let me say that again. These three individual women had individual game plans that they were going to use to make this man, make them think they are the one. But within his heart of hearts, he knew that they weren't the one for him. And so the first woman showed up, decided, well, I live out of state. So what I can do is I can start to help you pay your rent since you don't have a job yet. Pay the $1,300 every month. You don't have a job yet. She has a great job. And she will come once in a while to spend the weekend. He did not want her to do it, but she was pushing. And at the point where he needed the help, again, a purpose helper shows up to help him really pay the bills. So he took the offer. He wasn't looking to have a woman in his life because he was going through, like he said. But this woman showed up and decided to be paying the rent. He met the second woman while at a job interview, and this woman decided, you know what? I live down the road from you. I can come in and help you clean and cook, and you can have food in your refrigerator. And he said he turned down the offer, but this girl showed up on Saturday with everything, packed up, entered the kitchen, cooked, cleaned the house. And what could he say? He needed that help at that moment. So another purpose helper shows up. The third woman shows up while he went out to a party. And they were having a conversation, and he was sharing what he was going through without sharing the stories of the other two women. And this woman decided it's going to be hard for you to get to your interviews because you said that you had to sell your car. So how about I give you a car? And she literally bought him a car. And this is what single women, and there are single women who will be watching this and judging this guy. But there are also single women who will be judging but are doing the same thing. So the third woman got him a car. But in his heart of hearts, he reached out to me yesterday saying, I don't really like what's going on. How do I put a stop to this? And I said, exactly what you told them at the beginning, but they did not listen to. You have to sit each one of them down and let them realize you don't really want this. You're only going through the phase, and they showed up as your purpose helpers, but you know none of them will become a spouse. And so I'm going to share a quote with you guys from my memoir coming out about why, as a single woman, you need to understand this. Your motherly instincts, and bear with me, I'm just typing. Your motherly instincts were given to you by God to raise your children. Your support instincts were given to you by God to support your spouse. Your friendly instincts were given to you by God during friendship. Do not play a wife role when you're still trying to figure out if your relationship will move into courtship. Because what you're doing is you're trying to sow a seed as a wife to someone who is not even looking for a wife yet. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. It is not the woman who finds the spouse. It is the man who finds you. Because when you allow him to find you, he's going to treasure you. He's going to value you. He's going to love you and respect you. But if you as a woman are the one chasing, you're going to call disrespect to yourself at some point in time in the journey. And like these three women did, one decided to put some of her clothes in the house and pay the rent, $1,300 every month. Even though she lived out of state, she was paying rent and she was showing up once in a while when she had the time. The second one was coming to cook and clean, thinking that he had a sister living with him because he did not disclose the relationship he had with the other woman. The third one decided to buy him a car because she thought, if I get him a car, he could come over my place sometimes and he could go look for a job. And giving him a car may make him think that, yeah, we're on the next level of relationship. As a single woman, stop planning for the next level of your relationship before it happens. Stop planning for the next level of a relationship. Give me 1 second to type this. Stop planning for the next level of a relationship when you don't even know what level you're on in a relationship. You don't even know if you're friends yet. You don't even know if your friendship will go to the next level. Stop trying to go into courtship while still being friends. Dating is a game. Let me say that again. For those of you who may not understand, dating is a vetting game. Dating does not lead to courtship all the time. Dating is a vetting game that allows a partner to see if this relationship will move into courtship. It's vetting and sorting. Let me sort out who is in line with where I'm heading in my life. But most single women try to take the dating game and make it into a huge courtship relationship. I've had clients in the past who have been with the guy for 15 years, but they were never married to one. I myself played the purpose helper role for 15 years when I thought I was married. But I wasn't ready for marriage. I was just a purpose helper, not a helpmate. And that's what you need to recognize. Being a purpose helper is different from being a helpmate. Let me say that again. Being a purpose helper is different from being a helpmate. And what most women do is play the purpose helper role and think that that's a helpmate. You're just a purpose helper. I have documented about being a purpose helper, a purpose pusher, a purpose stopper, and a purpose killer in my book Being Single, for about the single phase of life where you happen to be purpose helpers for people. Being a purpose helper is different from being a helpmate. As a single woman, you need to understand that. You will come across men that you will be purpose helpers to, but you will never be their helpmate. And if you play the role of a helpmate while being a purpose helper, you will get hurt and you will get broken and you will get disappointment because you will set expectations, and expectations only lead to disappointments. I've shared that several times. Expectations only lead to disappointments. And the same applies to men who have expectations. Never have expectations in a relationship. The only expectation you should have is the expectation that you're setting for yourself to accomplish your goals. The only expectations you should have are for yourself when setting your life goals. As a woman, if you're moving in to cook, to clean, to pay a guy's bills, you're telling him, I will do anything to give myself up. I will do anything to devalue myself. I will do anything just to get you into my life, but you may not be the one. And so when you start to play the wife role when you're not there yet, you're only setting yourself up for failure. And the only person who's going to fail will be you, not the partner, because again, you may just be a purpose helper, not a helpmate. And this guy yesterday, we had to come up with, in our conversation, to help him understand what he needed to do to go tell this woman individually. I told him the first thing is sort yourself out to where you were going to be in a good place with yourself. And he was actually looking to move out. He was already staying in a hotel. He wasn't going to his lease apartment anymore because he didn't want to be in that space anymore. So I said, let her know you're canceling your lease and that you're not interested in her. That's the truth. The truth will be hard to swallow for her because she voluntarily decided to be paying the lease. The truth will be hard to swallow for the one who was coming to cook and bringing groceries because she thought that doing that will help their relationship get to the next level. The truth to swallow for the one who bought the car because she thought if I can buy him a car, he can see how we can build together. But you were only giving things. 2 days ago, I shared the video about how you cannot use things to replace a partner in a relationship. When you're giving things to get a partner, what you're doing is a transaction, establishing a transaction. You are not establishing a solid, healthy relationship. Hi, Jalomi. Thanks for joining. You are giving to a guy because you think that your giving to him will make him make a decision to take your relationship to the next level. But what you are doing is setting yourself up for a transaction that may never become a marriage or lead to the next level of a relationship. Transactions carry expiration date. Healthy relationships don't. I shared that 2 days ago. And as a single woman, if you keep giving to a guy, trying to force him, I use the word force on a purpose because that's what you do as a single woman. Trying to force a single man to accept you as a wife when he hasn't made that decision himself would only lead you to becoming disappointed and broken at the end of the day. Stop giving things to get a partner. Start asking yourself, what do you need in your own space that will lead you to being found by a guy? These 3 women are going to be disappointed because he's going to go to them individually this week to tell the one who's paying the lease he's no longer interested. His lease is expiring at the end of the month and she can stop paying because he's not going to be there. She has to come in to pack the things that she brought in to occupy the space from out of town. The second one who's been coming to cook and clean has been doing the purpose helper job of a maid, but she's not going to be the one either. The one who has bought the car would have to take her car back because now he's coming to the realization that this isn't what he wants in his life. And when you get to that level of self-actualization, it's you getting a knowledge that, yes, you don't want to play games. And this is why I tell single women, stop allowing yourself to be played on. Dating is a game, and men know how to play the dating game. And if you allow yourself to be playing along with a player, you will get played on. I've documented this in Love, Sex, Lies, and Reality. You can get it if you want to read it. I've documented about purpose helpers and purpose stoppers and pushers in being single. My role is to help single people as well as married people that didn't get it together before they got married to get it together and have a healthy relationship. That's my mission in life. But as a single woman, if you're giving in, as these three women have given in, and now have to this week bear the consequences of settling, this guy did not do anything wrong. He said, I told them from the beginning I didn't want this, but they were enforcing that they wanted to do this. But I don't like it anymore. That was his words to me yesterday. I don't like this anymore. So he moved into a hotel. He's working on getting a car from a junkyard so that he can return the car to the woman who bought the car, who bought him a luxury car. And so at the end of the day, these three women came into his life when he was in a point of need in his life to play purpose helpers. None of them was the one. So now he's going to break the news to them this week about their role, not being the one he's looking to spend the lifetime with. They settled in for a transaction, and relationships are not transactions. Healthy relationships are not transactions. Transactions carry an expiration date. And so when your transactions carry an expiration date, and when you're looking to be in a transaction, you would only look to get hurt and broken. And you can't blame the guy because you chose, again, choices to settle. As a single woman, value yourself, allow yourself to be found. Love yourself enough to stop seeking for validation in a man. Love yourself enough to stop giving to a man because, like I said in my quote from my memoir when I started, your role as a mother, your motherly instincts were given to you by God to raise your children, not to get a man into your space to start to nurture. Your nurturing skills and your motherly instincts were given to you by God for your children. Your spousal support instincts were given to you by God for your spouse. Not a boyfriend. Not a friend. Your friendly instincts were given to you to nurture the friendship where you can play a purpose helper or a purpose pusher. Not to get into the mindset of this is a relationship. Because it may not be a relationship. It may be a friendship. But if you're thinking as a single woman, make a man get into a relationship with me, you cannot. You cannot force a man to accept you as his spouse when he doesn't see it. A man has to see what connects him to this woman enough to make her a spouse. If you look at relationships where the man ends up marrying the woman either because she got pregnant or either because he felt like, I owe her something, she's done so much for me. Those relationships don't last. They end up in abuse. It's because as a woman you're settling. I shared my experience. I was meant to be a purpose helper for 15 years, but I thought it was marriage. I wasn't ready for marriage. So I only played a purpose helper role. And that's why I wrote in my book, Being Single, about purpose helpers in a relationship so that you can understand it. Not everyone you meet is designed to be in a relationship with you. The partner meant for you will identify you as a single woman when he meets you. And you will know because you will connect first spiritually than you connect first physically. If it's the physical connection first, you are in a transaction. Sex is cheap. I've said it before. Making love is expensive. Sex is cheap. Making love is expensive. And what you find out is when you give into sex, you're going to be treated cheap at the end of the relationship. You are going to be treated cheap at the end of the relationship. And so what you find out is, as a single woman, you have to ask yourself the question, what do I really need? Do I need to settle, or do I need to find myself? Have I been validated? Absolutely yes. By God when He created, signed, sealed, and delivered you. So you have to stop seeking validation and acceptance and love yourself enough as a single woman so that you don't settle. You wait for the partner who will love and respect you. Because if you don't respect yourself, nobody will respect you as a single woman. Stop giving in. Stop trying to buy him things. Stop trying to... I shared 2 days ago about how you cannot replace your partner with things. And when you're trying to replace your partner by giving things than building a relationship, what you're doing is a transaction. It's going to hurt you at the long run. You're sowing a seed, but you're not having ROI, return on investment. So you're investing in someone who is not meant to be your lifetime partner. It's a game. Dating is a mind game that allows a man to sort and vet which woman belongs to him. And as a woman, you should be vetting as well. You should be vetting and sorting and not settling. So I just wanted to share that this morning with you guys and let you know, as a single woman, you need to stop trying to make a man become a man. Make a boy, let me say that. Make a boy become a man. A man will get to the grown level when he is ready. You cannot force a man to get to that level. Giving him things would only get you hurt because, again, you're trying to play a motherly role or a spousal role when you're not one yet. Figure yourself out. Invest in your own self by building healthy first. Because when you don't build healthy, you can't build healthy with other people. You would only look for acceptance and validation, but you've already been accepted and validated by God. Your partner meant by God to be in your life for a lifetime will not even make you settle. And you will not be a purpose helper only. You will be a helpmate as the main goal of your relationship, to support your lifetime partner. So stop giving in, stop settling. Again, single women, learn to date privately, court consciously, marry wisely, because again, marriage is a lifetime process. It's not a short term. When we don't have it together is when we settle and get hurt and give in and think that we can make it work the way the society deems marriage to be. Marriage is much more than that. It takes a lot of sacrifice. It takes a lot of both parties being committed and on the same page and sharing life goals and vision and living in a purposeful environment that only grows them further and takes them further in life. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I hope this helps somebody out there. Again, feel free to inbox me or email me at coaching@kemshikunle.com, and I'll be more than happy to support you on this journey called life. Never stop loving while living. When you stop loving, you stop living. When you stop living, it means you're dead and time to go back to God. Y'all have an amazing day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.